Andre has a good question. He says, when you were starting out, you needed to figure out a lot of things, as we are in that state at the moment. Naturally, as you are built more and skills, then certain components become easier, and this enables you to move on to the next block to build your business. How did you overcome overwhelm? I'm assuming you got into overwhelm or frustrated at some points, and ensure you stayed on track with your objective. Good question there, Andre. So, overwhelm is only caused by trying to do too much stuff at one time. Okay, that's what overwhelm is. It's when people look at too far into the future than they're currently at. So to overcome overwhelm, think in the present moment. What is important to your business right now? This exact moment in time, what is the one next step you need to take in your business to grow it? Don't think about anything else. Don't think about social media, mobile marketing, all this other stuff, traffic generation, offer generation, creating offers, upsells, downsells, technical things. Don't even think about any of that. To completely eradicate overwhelm, think of things in the present tense. What is the one thing you need to do right now? Looking at my to-do list right now, if we go to my to-do list, which is a recurring theme every week, but I have a column that says to do today. It's not like to do in total. That's what this urgent growth points list is from, and even here I drag things into the correct column, whether it's to do this week or to do today, depending on urgency or importance. But I have a to do today column, which is the thing which I need to do in the present tense to move my business forward. So if I was to look at, for example, if I was to have this list here, urgent growth points, as my main to-do list, I would have all of these tasks here, and it would be very easy to feel overwhelmed by all of this stuff. Not to mention everything in this column here, which I want to get done, and everything in this column. So I have to do today, to do this week, and urgent growth points as kind of like a total to-do list, really. Because if it doesn't make the urgent growth points list, it isn't important, it isn't urgent, it's not worth doing. Right, so this kind of makes me ask the question, is it urgent, is it important? No, forget about it. There are other things I need to be doing at this point. So what I would recommend is separating your to-do list in this way. So you could even name it something like to do right now. What is the one or two things you need to do right now to move your business forward? Don't even think about anything else. When looking at this to-do list, I ignore what's in this column. I ignore what's in this column. I completely ignore that. The only thing I'm looking at is to do today, and I'm considering planning out some stuff here, but only when I'm whistling down this today to-do list, the most urgent to-do list. Okay. So overwhelm is a symptom of looking too far into the future. Okay, if you look in the present tense, then that overwhelm will disappear. Okay, so it's all about having those mini stepping stones. Don't think of your goal as a big one, like a massive achievement like climbing Mount Everest. Because if you were to think, okay, today I'm going to climb Mount Everest, it sounds like a massive task with loads of different elements to it, and it just becomes so overwhelming and frustrating. And the way to overcome that is to think, okay, so what is the one thing I need to do first? The one thing I need to do first is learn how to climb. Step 1. Don't think about anything else until you've done that. Step 2 would be, for example, get the equipment. I've never climbed Mount Everest, I have no idea, but I would assume it's something like that, right? Then after you've got the equipment, you would think of, okay, so what is the next one thing I need to do that, to climb that mountain, right? And of course, when you get to the top, the view is awesome, and you feel a great sense of achievement and accomplishment, and your life is suddenly a lot better. And that's the same with the business, right? It's like climbing a mountain. You can't just start climbing Mount Everest and get to the top immediately. You have to put the right foundations in place, i.e. the equipment, the knowledge of how to climb, and so on, to get to the top. But you can only do that when you do things one step at a time. So right now in your situation, you're feeling overwhelmed because maybe you're thinking about the offers you need to create, the follow-up sequence, everything else, the traffic generation, what kind of ads you would have, and so on and so on. You just need to ignore all that. Forget about it. It's not important because it's not happening right now. Instead, focus just on what's happening right now. So in your case, task number 1, and the only task right now, would be to finish off that content. That's it. Ignore everything else. get the content done, and then focus on the next step. That's what I did. When I first started my business, I was overwhelmed to the brink. I was up to my eyeballs in tasks, doing things all the time. And then I realised that I was only feeling overwhelmed because I was trying to do everything at once. There's no reason to do everything at once. Just focus on one thing and then focus on the next. And this happens to multitaskers as well. If you are a multitasker, you will also suffer from this overwhelm more frequently than others because you're trying to do more stuff than necessary at that time in the present moment, once again. So if you're a multitasker, that's a bad habit to be in, because studies have shown that when you are multitasking, you're actually dividing your intelligence between these tasks to the same rate as smoking marijuana over the course of a few years. So, you can either smoke marijuana, which is not very good advice, or or you can not multitask and put your full intelligence into one specific task. That way you can fully immerse yourself in that and get it done to the highest quality and highest standards as well.